I'm gonna go for a 3-bet here with the jack 8 off. And open up the 7-4 off. All right, good flop. Can bet, can check raise. I'm gonna start with a bet. All right, very good turn for our range. He's just not gonna have ace king ever. Nice, flop a straight. I think on this board, you can play half pot is a reasonable size. We no longer have the nuts, but we still have a very good hand. Keep betting. And defend the jack 2 offsuit. Sorry, the jack 10 offsuit. All right, nuts again. I'm gonna sometimes bet, sometimes check. We're gonna do a lot of checking on this card, so I'm gonna check. And first this size, I'm gonna go for a check raise. I'm mainly just gonna be check raising a straight here, so I'm gonna go for a big size and use hands like jack of clubs, 10 of clubs kind of hands. And here I'm gonna c-bet my 6 on this board. And I'm gonna go for a overbet on the river here. And we're gonna show down our 6 and lose to ace deuce. But unfortunately, we don't get paid with the jack 10. Versus a limp, sure. I'll see a flop. Open up the king 3. Versus pot, we will fold. Ooh, aces. It's gonna be like, I just survive with all the bad hands, and then get aces, and we stack the button. Here, I'm gonna play a big bet with this hand. Try and get some folds with our garbage hand. Simple as that, right? Bad hand, bet big, try and get folds. Raise the 7-4 off. Unfortunately, we do not stack the button with aces. Got a lot of small blind flats here. I'm gonna bet. Might even sometimes bluff this hand on future streets. I think here, if I play a big bet with this hand, I can get like some better hands to fold, like 8s, 9s. Now, do I want to fire the 3rd barrel here with this hand? I don't really block a ton of value. I'm going to isolate this. All right, I will concede. Good flop. Start with a bet. Turn. I'm gonna 3-bet here with the 5-6 off. I mean, we would normally sometimes 3-bet 5-6 suited, so why not 5-6 off? Here we're gonna check the turn. Ooh, trips. And when he checks quickly, I'm gonna try and get max value versus his bluff catchers. I think it's a recreational player, just how the way the hand played out. So if he has a queen. All right. So when we open under the gun and get this flop, it will look pretty good for our range. Obviously, it's pretty bad for our hand, but we have ace king, we have king queen, kings, queens, jacks, 10s. So they don't know we also have, king 4, ace 6 off, these type of hands. Similarly here, gonna be a good board for our range. As he agrees, as he snap folds the big blind. I think he had already folded before we bet, so. All right, I'm gonna isolate this limp. Take it down. This hand is going to 3-bet sometimes. Call this time. We almost have something. I can defend versus small bet. Versus check. Actually, I think this hand stabs sometimes. And we have got the sail it off turn. I'm gonna play pot here, and I'm gonna. He doesn't have a full stack. He threw a bigger. I'm gonna fold here. I'm gonna probably jam most rivers. Okay, but we just take it down on the turn. I mean, I block both straights, right? Okay, we get min 3-bet on the right. Not the worst hand to get min 3-bet with. And on the left, we have top pair, but we don't have a heart. This hand makes for a reasonable flop check. And that is almost us. But if he bets large, we will fold. Even half bottom all two, we will fold. On the left, check back, call turn. Not the best bluff catcher on this run out, but definitely call versus this size. He flopped flush. He, I think, played his hand reasonably well. I think on the river, he can actually play like a polar strat there, just because like I've checked the flop. So although I should definitely check some flushes, they're going to be discounted. He's flatted the small blind, so he'll actually have a reasonable amount of flushes. Yeah, check here. Sure, let's flat. Don't really have the bet. Like, having these two cards is not really the best 3-bet candidate. Just, I block a lot of his raise folds. River and ace, so he should only play like a pretty big size on this river. Same here, when we flat the button, we should play a pretty big size ourselves. So I think this guy's a recreational player, so I'm going to go for a bet. And just bet small and try and get called by like an 8 or something. Versus this size, I'm going to fold my 10-8. But he just check folds the river. I'm gonna stab the flop here. We have an over to a 10. The jack of diamonds is somewhat useful. I'll go for it. Check on this turn. And just check fold. Small bet. Now this is the ugliest hand we've had to open. 8-3 off in the cutoff, would not advise. And everyone likes to see flops, not getting 3-bet a ton. All right. Flop another really bad flush draw. I'm gonna see bet it this time. Obviously benefit from folds. Nice. We have some equity. We unblock all the like queen 10, king 10, king queen, ace 10. Fold here and fold when it goes raise 3-bet. I guess we'll call. I've not spent much time studying, how to maximize these types of hands from the button versus cutoff, like when you have to decide between flatting and 3-betting these hands. I'm gonna go for a bet with this one. Basically, I unblock all of his check calls. I have a clean 2-pair on this 5, so it's kind of nice. It's like some ways better to bet this than like Queen Jack or Queen 10. And then I have a hand that I can use in my bet check bet line, or I can call his bet. Let's go fold here with the 10-8 out of position. And we will call here with the queen. Oh, good river for him. So I think in that spot, when you have like top pair bad kicker, you actually want to bet some of those on the flop. And here, just check fold, unfortunately. 3-bet here with the ace jack suited. All right, we'll throw this in the 3-bet range this time. It's actually nice that we unblock, like I talked about, all of his like middling hands. Jack 10, Queen Jack. All right, 4-bet pot, blind versus blind. We flopped top pair, good kicker. Things could get dicey for us. Opponent starts with a bet. Not going to be playing many raises here. Not a great turn for his range. We should have probably a flush advantage on this turn, just especially when the ace of spades is on board. So we're going to be, mainly developing our betting range around hands that beat ace king, I guess. So now we have a decision on river. See what he does. I'm going to have traps for here for sure. So versus this actually is not a great card to have here. So versus this line, I think I can actually fold because a lot of his bluffs will contain a jack here. King Jack, maybe some Jack 10, Jack 8 suited. And I will, I'll check back plenty of hands to call there. All right, going along the theme of not really doing a ton of 3-betting with like these really bad Jack and 10 high hands. I'll just call here with the donk and the call. Another really small bet. I'll call again. Good river. And I'm gonna go for a bet here with this hand. Just unblock all of his like high card hands. I can actually barrel this hand on a bunch of turn cards. This actually isn't the worst spot to triple off. If he leads, I will obviously give up. Okay. I was considering just sailing this in there, but when he leads here, there's no reason he should be leading that large on that river. There's spots you're allowed to lead. And it's typically when you have an advantage. You usually want to go smaller in trips, which is there. That's, he doesn't really have an advantage in trips in that sense. A lot of his range is trips, but so is mine. Over 3 right here with the 4-3 off. But then also he has to have a lot of like non-showdown hands or like a decent amount of non-showdown hands. Whereas range is basically just trips there. So especially leading big when your range is basically just trips doesn't really make much sense. So I guess he saved me because I was going to consider just like jamming the river, betting really large. Defend here with 7s, blind versus blind. And probably gonna check raise the flop. And we'll see what happens after that. I think even versus the small bet, the large bet, I'm gonna go for the check raise. Raise fold the 10-4 off. Don't have to raise very big here. His range is like very polar. Okay. I mean, I guess I'll call and keep in his bluffs. I don't beat any value now, so. Good turn. Hopefully he has a bluff. So okay, it looks like he has a bluff. Now, I really don't think he's going to bluff this river, but I will give him a chance. Here we check back. I'm going to check again. Looks like he definitely had the bluff. Unfortunately, the board ran out in a way that he didn't want to continue bluffing. I think there's actually a reasonable hand to just raise the river. I'm going to have pocket queens in this line a lot. Just go with call here. It's also probably a spot he's not expecting to get raised very often. Okay, I have some equity here. Not much, but the type of hand that could bluff sometimes. I'll check the turn and then reevaluate the river. All right, I don't think he's gonna fold an ace, but I think he has a lot of hands that are worse than an ace that might fold here. All right, we were right. Check call here with bottom 2. Not strong enough to raise on this texture. We don't have enough equity at this SPR to play a big pot. Okay, I think when my opponent plays it this way, he mainly just has bluff catchers. And we're in the big blind, so we have all our 9x, 8x hands that he can assume we're bluffing with. So I'm just gonna go for a big bet. My big bets flop checks this turn. He's gonna just have like Jack 10, Ace Jack, King Jack a lot. Maybe Queen 10, Queen 9. This is super weird. Like he has to have like 10, 9 of clubs to play this way. Oh God, you get my money. Okay, his pocket eights. Nice hand. Here we're gonna bet. And raise the 9-4 off. Here, I'm gonna bet. I don't think I want to go on this river. I don't have any like advantage at the top. My opponent can have king queen, so I also flatted the small blind. So I'm just gonna go for a 3/4 pot bet. Flop top pair, and you could say terrible kicker. I think like the 8-7 for sure I can fold. It's just very odd for my opponent to have a better hand than mine in that line. In these games especially, like for sure in every line you're supposed to have it, but I just kind of felt like it was weird to have, like he doesn't want to slow play much on that turn. It's a very good turn for his range when he bets the flop because I don't have much queen X. I'm going to bluff here versus a recreational player that checks flop. And this hand's going to mix call and raise versus the big bet. We're going to call this time. Bad turn for our range. We're going to have better hands now, a little bit, like ace-9, but not much. So, very peculiar size from our opponent, but I'm going to just continue to call. And then see what he does on the river. He has a lot of potential bluffs here. Jack 10, 10, 8, Queen 10. When he bets so big on the flop and then triples, this hand actually, like, unless he has like 9-7 or Queen 7, yeah, actually don't beat value. Yeah, he has 9-7, unfortunately. I also didn't expect him to have 9-7 off, but maybe he's playing a similar game to us. I'm going to call. It's half pot. I have 2 overs and the nut shot, so we'll call. Also, this player can just be very loose. And I'm going to try and get him to fold air. He can have like 8-7, a 7. But yeah, I mean, if he has 5 deuce there and he like tank calls that hand, I think my play's fine because he's going to have just like Queen 6 and stuff as well, and air and whatever. So I'm cool with I'm cool with my decision. All right, we flop a straight. Let's maybe we'll call it here. This will be the last hand of the video. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I'm gonna go for a check raise here because we have the nuts. I mean, this hand is definitely going to go check call or check raise sometimes. I'm going to check raise this time. And we take it down. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll be back with some more videos soon. Take it easy.